I'm in the den of a chap called Phil. This is West Lothian in Scotland. Phil really likes coming here and tinkering around with his cars. And he's always had a thing for Japanese motorbikes of a certain era and Vauxhalls. And the car that we've come to see today is a really fast, rare Vauxhall, but it's not what you think it's going to be. It's not a Lotus Carlton. It's also not that, and it's not that either. It's a car, a fast, turbocharged Vauxhall that I have never heard of. I didn't even know that this conversion existed. So join me on a barn find episode of the Late Break Show where we try and get the car out and maybe we'll strike it up. I'm Jonny Smith. Fucking me. I can smell your eyebrows.
Not my beard.
I can smell your eyebrows. I've never said that to anybody before. This episode is proudly sponsored by Nielsen, British car cleaning products since 1969. I can tell you're good. Any man that owns his own pool table has got to be good.
Well, there's a wee bit of practice put in right enough.
So what I like about this place immediately, Phil, is it's like a little bit of sanctuary. This is not like your workplace, is it?
No, I'm retired now, so I just come down here and chill out and work on whatever I fancy.
So let's get a bit of an idea. I'm seeing an awful lot of motorbikes. Is that your first? That's your first love?
I went, what they call it, when we got the children. I decided what they call it, the mics were maybe a wee bit unsafe sort of thing, and I got into classic cars. I've always been a big fan of Vauxhalls. After I lost my son, I went back to the bike. So what they call it, few mixed emotions when it comes to classic cars, what they call it.
Yeah.
But we had some pretty good times. We went to car shows here, there and everywhere. Beamish was one of our favourite.
So what's the Vauxhall thing? Where's that come from? Because I realised only like when we started to film the intro that there's a Vauxhall right there.
Yeah.
With all your pool cues.
Yeah.
That is a Vauxhall in there.
Yeah. It's a 58 left hooker from Arizona. Very rare car, being the estate. Virtually rust free.
So what's that, a Cresta?
No, Victor.
A Victor?
Victor.
So that's when Vauxhall were full Americanised styling.
Yeah. My dad, what they call it, when I was a kiddie, he had a Mark I Consul, and his next car was a 1961 Havana brown over cream Victor, and I thought it just stood out so much, and I'm thinking after that.
That's why you've got that then? Is that yours on the ramp?
Yes.
Yeah. Talk to me about this, because when we first turned up and we were just saying hi, you pointed towards this Yamaha here.
Yeah.
What's the significance of that?
That's a 1983 XJ 900, and I bought it brand new from Better Bikes in the Pleasance in Edinburgh.
Brand new?
Yeah, brand new.
41 years ago?
Yeah, and the wife was the first one to get on the back of it.
Wow.
So it wasn't my wife at that stage, but eventually.
So we weren't long together before you bought this?
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm here today for the barn find, because it's not that MX-5 and it's not that Victor and it's not that one over there, although that is cool and I didn't realise they sold those in America.
Yeah.
It's actually the car behind us where we're stood now.
The Courtney Senator.
I did not know that they made a Courtney turbo converted Senator. If you've heard of Courtney were like what Turbo Technics, who did a lot of Ford stuff.
Yes.
Courtney, they're both British companies. Courtney used to do a lot of Vauxhall aftermarket turbo conversions, and I remember the Carlton, but mostly the Astra.
Yes, and the wee Nova GTEs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What they call it.
Which were the popular ones.
Yes, yeah.
Senator? Had no idea. When you emailed me, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So
well, what they call it, the Lotus Carlton, that was originally penned as being the Lotus Senator.
Yeah.
But they decided it was too long. That's why they went for the Carlton.
Am I right in thinking, because information is vague on this, so I'm hoping that you've got a bit more info than I have. They did not make many of these.
No. As far as I know, what they call it, 2 were commissioned by Vauxhall. The other car was stolen and used in an armed robbery and never seen again.
Okay.
So,
great getaway.
it did go into private ownership after Courtney touched it, sort of thing. John Cleland used it as a pace car in the Thunder racing.
Did he?
And I saw it in, I think it was, what they call it, Auto Trader, of all things.
Had you ever heard of it?
Well, I had a Carlton GSI at the time. And
Phil,
I
you're a
thought,
man of class.
what they call it, it was one of the easiest cars to drift I've ever had. What they call it, highly illegal on the road, right enough.
But you didn't do it on the road, so it's okay.
No.
How long have you had this Senator?
What they call it, it must be at least nearly 20 years.
Well, let's start uncovering it, and we can talk a bit more. So this is Stephen. Stephen, it's your fault that I'm here because Phil, by his own admission, is a massive technophobe.
That's true.
You emailed the Late Break Show and said, I think this car might be of interest for the Late Break Show.
Absolutely, because it's so rare, yeah.
And I had to read it twice. I was like, I didn't even know this existed.
Neither did I till I saw Phil's car and explained a bit more and showed us the old newspaper cutting. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rare car, but when you do your research on it online, it's very limited as well.
It's extremely limited, and I have tried, before we film this, I have tried to contact Courtney, because they still exist, and hopefully by the time you watch this video, I will get some more information from the horse's mouth about it. But in the meantime, let's actually try and see what it looks like. Bloody hell, this is the heaviest kitchen table you can pop up. Blimmin' heck, this is not something I'm going to do on my own.
It's a 2-man job, that one.
That is very much a 2-man job. Where is this going?
You want to go to the other side of the pool table?
So Phil, what I haven't asked you is, while you're moving your internal doors, like how you came to find this. Were you actually looking for one of these? You're obviously a Vauxhall guy, but this is quite a modern Vauxhall for you.
Yeah, well I had a GSI.
Yeah.
And I thought about putting a turbo in it, like the Lotus Carlton.
Yeah, like a sort of B-side Lotus Carlton. Yeah.
But I soon discovered that anything to do with Lotus was mega dear.
Yeah.
When this popped up on, what they call it, Auto Trader, and I saw the money it was going for, I went, it would cost me that just for the turbo. So I thought, it's got to be a no-brainer.
But you didn't know this existed until you saw it for sale?
I just saw the photograph and thought, right, I'll have that.
In case you didn't already know, Senators, this second-generation Senator I think it is, were really popular police cars in the UK. Still to this day, a lot of retired police officers will say this was the ultimate highway patrol vehicle. Comfortable, spacious, fast, and pretty strong. I've actually got a Senator with my podcast partner. If you know, I do a weekly podcast called Smith and Sniff. We actually have a tour vehicle, which is a stretch limousine Senator. Sadly not 24 valve, and sadly not turboed. But it's great to see another Senator because they're not that common anymore. But I think they're a handsome beast. So the car, Phil, came on alloy wheels.
Yes, that there is the original 15-inch lattice spoke Vauxhall wheels.
This one looks a little soft, but they're all up. Right. That was the only complete flat.
Have you seen it in the boot yet?
No. What's in the boot?
Everything you can imagine.
Oh bloody hell! So like loads of spares. So Phil, you've got enough spares to build another car?
Just about.
So hang on a minute. I should have asked you this right at the top of this barn find. Why is it here? Why is it sat in the corner of this workshop, covered in dust and not being used?
I went back to the motorbike and my life's moved on a lot, so it's just something that I know I've got to get round to do something with eventually.
So when was this last on the road?
Long time ago, what do they call it? 2005. So I would say at least 5 years before that. So.
Oh really?
Yes.
So 25 years ago?
Yeah.
Bloody hell. And how long did you drive it when you bought it? For how long?
It was basically for about a year.
Is that all?
I know.
Phil.
I know. What they call it?
But it wasn't broken?
No, it wasn't broken at all, and used to quite scare me at times at the speed of it.
Was it quick?
Oh, very quick.
Blimey heck, man. I didn't realise you drove it for so little before.
Yeah. See, I was saying about the boost gauge subtly put into the door panel.
Oh wow, that is so stealth.
Yeah.
And just uncovering it here, I noticed that there's no Vauxhall badges on it.
Yes. Courtney debadged it under quite a controversy from Vauxhall. They were not happy at all, handing them £33,000 cars and debadging it just because Vauxhall liked to promote Vauxhall as a sports division sort of thing. And that was the whole point of handing it over to Courtney, was to promote that side.
So Courtney took all the Griffin badges off, and you just had a little Courtney Turbo sticker or badge on the back, and on the lower front wings.
Yes.
Nothing on the front.
No, what they call it, you see the original badges there.
Yeah, but it's not on there.
Yeah, it's all smoothed out.
So you bought another Senator as a donor?
Yeah, well, what they call it, my mate had a scrapyard, and locally there was one low mileage. And my mate said to me, "You've got a Senator." He says, "Just take it away and strip the hell out of it, and then bring back what you don't."
Bring the shell back.
Yeah.
So that's where all these panels have come from.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
So the car doesn't need them all.
No.
The indicators are glass. At first, I thought you'd parked it up because it was broken, but it's not broken.
No.
And I saw you showed me the wheels, the proper wheels for this that you've got over there. So that are 16s.
Yes. They're the same as the Cosworth Sierra, which what they call it, bought the tyres off a chap because he'd bought tyres for his Cosworth, and I think his Cosworth got stolen. Oh. So he had a set of brand new tyres.
Oh dear.
So I got the bonus, he didn't.
Well, I'm thinking we probably need to swing the front out to see the engine bay.
Right.
First. But we're going to need to put it all on skates anyway, so we can twist it one way or the other. So we've pulled the Senator out a little bit more so we can have a look at the engine bay and start work on it. And look at that. So I've immediately realised I've made a mistake. I assumed that it was a 24 valve.
Yeah.
But it's actually a 12 valve.
Yes.
But that's the thing that we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Courtney Turbo conversion.
Yep.
So it's all over the thing you're about to try and take out. It's all over the plugs that are on this side of the engine.
Yep.
And what's going on here?
That's electronic, what they call it, suspension. So it's speed sensitive.
Really?
In 1988.
Well, so it's got a form of adaptive damping?
Yes, what they call it. If you go above a certain speed, it then stiffens up. So the way they call it, to keep you on the road.
In 88?
Yeah.
So I reckon, well, what we do normally on these barn finds is, before we even think about trying to turn it over, take the plugs out, just do some precautionary checks on it. Mm-hmm. You have said, which scared the living daylights out of me, Stephen said, "Oh, it's got an immobiliser." And I went, "Oh, you're kidding." But luckily, Stephen knows a lot about car electronics, and he's like, "No, I think it's cool. I think I've got a handle on that." So hopefully that's not going to sting us.
Right.
So let's crack on with that.
Yeah.
And then I'll see if, I'm trying to think what else we should do. We should probably find the fuel feed, because I'm assuming that the fuel pump will be dead or dying, which is usually the case on barn finds. And we try and segregate that from this by putting my can of hope in there and using the fuel pump from that. Right, so you're doing that. I think I'll go and get my torch perhaps and then see if I can see the fuel lines down there. Then we'll know where it comes in.
Since we've got all the spark plugs out, We'll connect her up to a battery and we'll see if she'll turn over.
And did you disconnect the fuel line, Phil, a long time ago underneath?
Yes, because I'm sure I had an issue with the fuel pump.
Right.
So I'm sure that's where the problem lie, in me not getting the thing started.
Okay.
Right.
So you've got a big old battery connected up.
Yep.
Let's have a look inside. I can hit...
I want to switch this.
Oh, that noise is the radio.
Yes.
I thought it was the heating, but it's the radio.
Right.
I can hear some... There's an aerial.
Right, so you see what happens here, right?
Yeah, it revolves.
Yeah.
Is that made by Kenwood?
Yes.
That was called the Kenwood mask.
Right.
Can you just look at this digital dash? So we know the Astra GTE Mark II had it, but the facelifted Senator had an even more comprehensive digi-dash.
Mm.
What's that thing there you've just pointed at? Is that the trip computer?
Yeah.
Is that LCD?
That's blooming brilliant. Okay, so that's the starter motor. It's jammed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Solenoid, yeah.
Yeah, because the lights are dimming, so it's taking... It's drawing
so
current.
what we need to do is try and turn the engine over
Yeah.
manually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, the solenoid
Yeah,
above it.
yeah, that's it. It's right there. It's really, really accessible. I know. I'm used to working on these without turbos. When there's no turbo there, plugs and starter are just so easy.
Yeah.
They're a great engine to work on. I like.
Where about is it, Phil?
Just there.
It's just right there. So
Oh,
if you've got a bar or
Yep.
something,
I can chap it
just
while
to give it a
you,
nice little tick, tick, tick. You say when you're ready, Phil.
Right.
Right. Good. I can hear some clicking, which I presume could be spark. But
Yes,
So-
'cause that's what I wasn't want to get a shock there. when I
yeah,
was
yeah,
doing
yeah. What we could do if you wanted is we could put a plug into
Yeah. Any one
of the
just
leads
see if you're getting a spark.
and then put in that. I will. Right. When you're ready, Phil. Yeah, I was going to say.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
beautiful spot.
We have big spark. So while you're putting the plugs in,
Yeah.
we can either find where the fuel feed comes from here, or I could attach fuel down there and run it from down there with another. If you've got a little motorbike battery, I can run it off just a little motorbike battery. It doesn't draw much. So Phil's been putting the plugs back in. I think he's got one more to do, maybe two. We have been looking for where the fuel comes into the car. It's through here. There's the inlet manifold. And it's quite a little, you were saying, it's a pretty fancy setup.
Yeah, just the way the flow and return is with a looped metal band and then T-pieces off in each injector.
Yeah.
It's,
Is that a Courtney thing?
I
It's
think
hard
that-
to know. If
It's hard to know.
I can't remember, you see, without looking at my own Senator.
Well, they will have had to work on that because it'll be bigger injectors, won't it?
Exactly. Thank you again, Tony BMW. We couldn't do it without you. We're going to tap the return pipe and the feed in, because the Can of Hope has a return up there, just in case without return it might kind of fox the engine. We don't know. Might not work. So we're going to do that. We know that's all dead back there, fuel system wise. This car's cool. Right, so we've connected up the can to the inlet and the return of the fuel. That's got its own power supply and its own chair. Plugs are back in.
Yep.
You've checked the oil. We can check the water if you like. And what we'll do then is, because it's on skates, we'll swing the bum of the Senator out. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, about there. Right, so sweepstake, you say,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
you think it's going to run?
Hopeful.
Yeah, you're enjoying yourself in there, aren't you? And the fuel, that's primed. Fuel system's primed. So I reckon when you're ready, we can go for a turn. No.
It's just not got the speed.
Whoa!
Yes.
I did not expect it to do that. I thought that battery was not got the juice in it.
What's happening?
It's weeping out of there. So I think the back pressure's high.
Nah,
It's higher than normal. Right.
Too low.
We need to put a... See, the problem we've got is the majorly big battery that Phil's got won't fit in the engine bay. So we've got to run it off jump leads, which drains some of its power. But what about if we ran it on there with the jump pack attached as well onto the terminals?
Can only boost it.
I think if we do it, because this battery is just fantastic.
Okay.
You're going to get close enough that you can still power.
Oh, you want to
Aye.
do that, do you?
Aye.
Oh, right. So we've
put
got a hell of a contraption. So you've got a jump pack, a small battery, a big battery, and jump leads. Bloody hell. Okay. All right. We'll do it like that then. So, is everyone ready for another toot?
Yep.
Oh! It's returning. I can hear it returning. It's turning over for ages without firing at all.
Can you just give it a quick turn to check that all the belts are turning, Phil? All the pulleys. Just a quick.
Just to give it a quick turn over on the starter for me.
That's fine.
Yeah, there's no pulleys seized. That's really frustrating. So, you said that fuel rail was weeping.
Yep. But it's not.
But it's not.
We tightened it up.
Right, okay. So that means fuel is reaching all of the injectors.
Yes.
Hold fire for a sec.
Right. We're
Let's
going to
take
pull the distributor cap
Let's
off.
take the dizzy cap off and have a gander.
There's one in the boot, I think. A new one.
Of course, if you didn't have a turbocharger on it, it would be really easily accessible.
Yeah.
But this one's directly beneath.
Waste pipes.
So that buzzing that was just done, I think it was was it a starter relay?
Yeah, sounded like it, yeah.
Right.
Which just needed a little
So I
clean.
think that might have been the immobiliser because I didn't press it here. And that's where it was killing the power.
Because it'll only give you about 30 seconds or a minute.
Yeah.
Right, should we try another go?
Yeah.
Come on, Senator. Come on. That's just weird.
During the course of the day, I kept trying to phone Courtney Sport to get more information on this unicorn turbo. Finally, I got through to the director of the company, John Shield, who actually remembered the conversion extremely well.
The service history from you guys, Courtney Sport, in the year 2000 of when it came in to have some work done. And he had a whole host of stuff done by the look of it in September 2000. And that was when the mileage was 105,600 and it is right now 109,000. So it hasn't done a great deal since the millennium.
No.
And the owner, Phil, he broke another Senator a good few years back while he had the chance. He's got spare everything.
Brilliant.
Do you remember what they call it, the issue when because you debadged the two cars?
Right.
So instead of having the 15-inch lattice spoke wheels, it's got 16-inch M-shard wheels. You took the bonnet off, the badge off the bonnet, and I was told that Vauxhall went apoplectic because...
I think this might be one of a couple of cars we did for
Yes.
Howard Spink, and they were Vauxhall's advertising agency at the time.
Ah.
And we had a black Senator as well as the demo.
It's interesting. See, in the service history that Phil, the owner, has got here, there's lots of invoices for low Howard Spink.
There we go. It was one of theirs.
You are absolutely spot on. So they were the advertising agency for Vauxhall.
At that time, they were Vauxhall's advertising, and we
There you
did
go.
get. I think it was Ian Coomber was the director of Vauxhall then, and he actually sort of in a joking way said it's really lovely to see that the directors of Low House spin car running around in Vauxhall Senators. He said, I just wish that maybe one of us had a badge or two of ours on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we did a number of Senators. We did a number of Carlton GSIs. We actually did Carlton GSI, same conversion for Barry McGuigan as well.
For Barry McGuigan.
Barry
McGuigan had a Carlton GSI Turbo.
Yeah.
From what we've read is this car and maybe the other Senator Turbo were used as pace cars for the Thunder Saloon Championship.
No, our one was.
Your one was.
Yeah, our one was. It was F700 WCL. I've got some pictures of that actually. Well, actually, Chris Courtney's got.
We continued the chat with John over the next few weeks via email, and he scoured the Courtney archives to find a tech spec of the Senator Turbo amongst a few other fantastic pictures. Courtney used to be a Vauxhall main dealer, so their conversions were therefore warranted. They did Novas, Astras, Carltons, Mantas, all receiving this turbo treatment. The Senator was indeed one of only two made at a cost of over £3,200, and in terms of performance, it raised the stock 3-litre 6 from 177 to 225 brake horsepower. 0 to 60 miles an hour took place in 7.4 seconds, and 0 to 100 in 20 seconds. John did tell me this was a low-blow turbo conversion running at just 6 psi of boost in order to keep the standard factory compression ratio of 9.4 to 1.
Quick recap time. Steve's been brilliant, and he's been running some checks because we've been scratching our heads as to why it doesn't seem to fire consistently. So you wanted to make sure that the injectors were pulsing.
Yes, checked one of them just to make sure it was getting a pulse. So pulse at the start when you first turn the key,
Yeah,
and when you try and start it, it's pulsing.
yeah,
There's a couple of plugs that were off.
yeah.
Some earths that were loose. Some strange pressure discs in the fuel line that we've put back in.
Phil's taken a plug out to make sure it wasn't wet because we were unsure whether it was flooding, but it doesn't seem to be flooding. So with those plugs that were mysteriously unplugged, we thought, well, we can give it another whirl. So if you want to set the that going, I'll give this a little pulse. Phil,
Right.
yeah. If you've got a little like weed killer, like even a little tiny weed killer type gun, I keep meaning to get one just to do this, just spray it in there. Right, so that started.
Yeah.
Hate to state the obvious. You're running that on like starting fluid, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was Phil's suggestion, and Phil owns the car, and that's what Phil wanted to do.
Okay.
Yep.
Bugging me.
That's what I knew was going to happen.
You're all right.
That's a
I
fact.
can
Still got
smell
his
your hair.
eyebrows.
No, my beard.
I can smell your eyebrows. I've never said that to anybody before. You sure you're all right?
Yeah. I was far enough away. I can't
Cheap
even
sun.
Be careful.
I was
Cheap
off to the side.
suntan.
Don't try this at home.
It was running.
It was bloody running. So let's just try and recap then. It won't run on a normal fuel system for some reason.
Because the injectors is...
Because the injectors are...
So they're pulsing, everything's controlling it, just the injectors are not putting fuel into the block.
Yeah.
So whip the injectors out and we'll take it
Soak
from
them first,
there. Right.
and then put them back in and try it.
Okay.
And then if that doesn't work, you need to get them ultrasonically cleaned.
Can
and
you
then
get
them
them
tested. So they'll put them away, they'll know what CC they are, and they'll test them and everything.
Everything else is really good. It is good.
Started with a bang.
Absolutely. I saw the flame and I saw your face. They were at the same
See how
height.
fast I moved?
You did. You dived like you were trying to save a president or something like that. Well, we're not going to try and get it to run any more than 3 seconds, but I think we've worked really hard at that, and well done, you guys. I'm now going to celebrate by giving it a quick clean. Now, it's at this point on the barn find that I will try and wash the car comprehensively. But we have a little bit of a problem in the case of Phil's Senator, because Phil's workshop is such, he's a bit of a hoarder, that we can't actually get the car fully outside to pressure wash it and do what I'd want to do, which is a bit annoying, because this playlist is sponsored proudly by Nielsen, British company, develop and make this stuff in Derbyshire in the UK. So what I'm going to do is the next best thing. I've got water. I'm going to do a really, really diluted little shampoo wipe down after blasting it with an airline to get the worst of the dust off. And then I'm going to go over it with their quick detailer and a nice clean cloth just to see what it's like. Anyway, if you haven't been on the Nielsen website, go on the Nielsen website. They've been in the business since 1969. Obviously, this is not the ideal process. Normally I'd snow foam it and agitate it, but actually the car is pretty clean. It is just dust. Well, considering I didn't really have a proper method of cleaning this, no pressure washer, no snow foam montage, I'm really pleased with how it's come up. It's really good. It's really good. The bits that are missing, Phil here took those off to repair the arch. He's got all the extra cladding, and I'll push it back so you can have a better look at the front end, but I think it's come up really nice. Really nice. And the interior of this, it's probably my favourite part. With the digital dash, that steering wheel, we found the boss for that inside the car. The orthopaedic seats, 3 headrests at the back, which Phil said is pretty rare on these. And this would clean up beautifully if we had more time. I love it. I think it's, still today, I think it's a really handsome car. And if we were able to put those 16-inch Ermshire cross-lace wheels on it, and get it down off the jacks, I think it would sit just right. I really hope you've enjoyed being with me and Steve as we uncover Phil's Senator Courtney Turbo. What a rare unicorn of an 80s fast saloon. There is a chance he's going to be letting go of this car and selling it to someone who's going to put it on the road, because he realises he's got quite a few other projects on the go. If you're seriously interested in it, you can email us. There's a link in the description, and you can also email us if you have a car, or you know of someone that has a car that's in a hedge, on a driveway, in a real barn, sat in the corner of a garage like this. Give us some details of the car, some pictures, and a backstory. Thanks again for watching this, and if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love you to subscribe.